Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy. It's always my pleasure to be greeting you and always bringing this message of emancipation to you, pointing you to look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity, and to always believe in yourself, because it is your own thoughts that are creating your personality and creating your reality. Therefore, you are to create your reality consciously. For there is a power in you that you can use to achieve your every desire. That's the reason why I want to speak to you today concerning the wisdom of the ancients and what the ancients did believe. Now, the ancients would have known that the source of our life, that it was the sun, and that without the sun, as in the S-U-N, there is no life and there is no light. However, fast forward to this day that we are living in, and there are millions, if not billions, of people around the world who believe that a S-O-N is the light of the world, when common sense would teach you that no S-O-N can ever exist unless there first be the S-U-N. Even where I'm living here right now, about 3 minutes walk from here, there's a church with a cross, and on the cross it is written that Jesus Christ is the light of the world. Many times I would have asked the people who go to that church, if Jesus Christ is the light of the world, what is the sun? And they think that I am crazy, because there's no one in my country who's speaking like I do concerning the Bible and what I believe. I guess I would say it is because I am a leader and not a follower. Okay, because a lot of people playing the game and follow the follower. So the ancients would have always known that the source of our life is the sun, and they revered the sun because they knew that all intelligence comes also from the sun, and that our minds have been powered by the sun, and that our imagination is connected to the sun, and the sun is connected to our imagination. As I normally say at the end of every video, which I would do in this video also, that the sun parallels the human imagination, the human imagination parallels the sun. Now, there was one thing that all the wise ones would have had in common, and this has been passed down from generation to generation, right back to the ancients, from the earliest writings of man. They have always been the haves and the have-nots. They have always been the rich and the poor. They have always been the foolish and the wise. And the wisdom of the ancients is that they would have known that thoughts become things, and that we become what we think about, because they would have disagreed on many different things. Many of the prophets, the philosophers, the yogis, all men of ancients who possess wisdom, they would have disagreed on many different subjects, but there is only one subject that they have always been in unanimous decision on, and that subject is that we become what we think about. In other words, as I said before, thoughts become things. And when you look on the outside and you look at nature, you can see clearly that whatsoever you sow, that is what you will also reap. And you would see the law of reproduction, and I would have written a book on that called Can't Be Proven Wrong by Any Christian, where I use the law of reproduction. The law of reproduction can show you that every seed and every species reproduce after its own kind. Even if someone take a piece of mango limb from a mango tree and put that mango limb from that mango tree and an orange tree, that mango limb would still bring forth mango, while that orange tree will still bring forth orange. So the orange will still bring forth orange, the mango will still bring forth mango. They can't change it, no one can change it. And that law has been set in the earth to teach us truth and error. And that's a divine law. So, my brother, my sisters, when I speak about the mind and how the mind works, you can see quite clearly that this has always been the truth down through the ages. So what you're looking for is actually within you. And that is why you're told in the Bible that the kingdom of God is within you. And that you must not play the part of the fool to be looking on the outside. So unfortunately, many of our friends and relatives who believe in secular Christianity and are looking outwardly, who believe that the Bible is literal and that the Bible is secular history, they fail to realize that they are the foolish ones of which the Bible speaks about. Because the Bible really and truly addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. So those of us who are waking up and understanding that we've been kept in mental poverty or mental slavery, we are coming back to the ancients, the wisdom of the ancients, the wisdom that they would have already known down through the ages. And they would have used it even in the time of bartering, even when money has never been minted before. They were using the same principle, and the principle would always continue. And that is why your rewards in life will always be in exact proportion to your service, to your contribution, because it would mean how much energy that you are giving out is how much will come back to you. That is why you must come to the understanding that everything that you behold is energy, vibration, and frequency. And that your brain is a receiver and a transmitter of frequency. So you're using thought frequency, it's all energy. And it's going to come back to you. And that's why the Bible also shares with you the law of compensation. It says, you must give and it shall come back to you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, shall men give into your bosom. It's transmutation of energy that it is speaking about. So whenever you use your ability, you use your creativity, whatever way you use your ability to serve humanity, you will receive in return your reward. But most people are giving away their ability and their creativity for money. But you cannot blame them because we were taught to think that way. Our parents also would have taught us to think that way and to believe in that way. Our religious leaders also would have taught us to think and to believe in that way. No wonder why they have always been teaching us to look outwardly and to believe in a God outside of ourselves. That is why secular Christianity will always keep you in limitation. But this message of self-realization that I am bringing to you is to teach you that you are limitless. So my brother and my sisters, grab hold of the wisdom of the ancients that has come to you in these modern times. So my brother and my sisters, do not look at those of us who are bringing this kind of message to you as slightly, and then you look up to those that you think that they are visionary because they would have accomplished what you might term as more, like the Henry Fords and the Wright brothers and the Elon Musk and the Steve Jobs and the Bill Gates and so on. But my brother and my sisters, if you would find time in isolation and get in to that side of your brain, that genius side of your brain, you will come to discover everything that I'm saying to you. And that is what many of those guys would have done to come to accomplish what they have. So what they would have accomplished, you can accomplish it also. So it is very important, my brother, my sisters, for you to find time of isolation that you can isolate yourself and you can go into the silence, go into meditation, go into visualization. You must exercise your mind. And that was one of the greatest wisdom that ever passed down from generation to generation. And it is today still the wisdom of the ancients. So my brother and my sisters, there are many people who can tell you of many ancient ones who are ancient philosophers and what they did and their terminology and their quotes. I might not be able to do that, but I can tell you that this is the same wisdom. I can tell you that you must get in touch with the invisible you. I can tell you that everything that you see without, it is within. And I'm not speaking from theory, I am speaking from experience. So my brothers and my sisters, it is very important for you to discover yourself. Because when you discover your true self, you discover the wisdom of the ancients. And you will put that wisdom to work in your life. And you would speak from experience, not from intellect. That is why sometimes I would call people parrot and they will get offended. But a parrot is one who's repeating what they hear others say. They're just regurgitating things. And that's how they taught us in school. Many people jumping up and down and speaking of the 21st of December and what's going to happen on the 21st of December. None of them has ever gone in space. None of them are actually a physical astronaut. But I am a spiritual astronaut. Okay, you are a spiritual astronaut too, but you have to have the experience of a spiritual astronaut. Okay? So don't go and try to tell people, yeah, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And you expect someone like me, right, to kiss your ass, to try to be nice so I can get subscription. I don't play that kind of a game. And the person, if they're listening, they will know I'm speaking to them. Okay? I don't play that kind of game. I don't go and try to teach people things that haven't had any experience. If you check how much people in the world have ever been astronauts, I believe you can count the amount on your hands and your feet if it's so much. Okay? And you have to take what they tell you and you go parroting and try to make people believe that it's a fact. When you experience something, then you can tell people it's a fact. So with that being said, my brother, my sister, I think I would have said enough. And I think what I would have just said, I think it needed to be said. Okay, stop follow the crowd and stop follow the hype and stop be just a follower alone. Be a leader. I'm a person who's doing video and I'm not going to encourage people who listen to me to just be a follower. No, be a leader. I'm teaching you that whatever I can do, that you can do it too. Okay, so don't make nobody make you any fool with a hype. Okay, so I want to thank you very much for listening to me, and I want to say to you, if what I'm saying really makes sense to you and is resonating with you and you want to vibrate more on the wisdom of the ancients by getting more in touch with your inner self, your higher self, and learn to have experience for yourself, I would like to say to you, if you haven't subscribed already, to subscribe, to comment, to share this video. But just before I leave, I just want to remind you that this message I bring to you, that it is the single eye message of self-realization, of which Matthew 6:22 says that if your eye be single, your whole body would be full of light. And I can tell you from experience that that light of which that they are speaking of, that your body will be filled of, it is the rising of the S-U-N, as in the sun. The S-U-N and S-O-N. And you will realize that it is the dawning of a new day in your life. For truly the sun, as in the S-U-N, it parallels the human imagination. The human imagination parallels the sun. For without the sun, there is no life and there is no light. Common sense will teach you that. Not Jesus, not a man 2,000 years ago. And because without the sun, there is no life and there is no light. So too, without the human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. And you're told without him, which is your imagination, there isn't anything made that was made, and that all things were made by him. And that him is God. That's why it tells you, in the beginning was God and the word was with God. Do you realize that word is a thought expressed? So right there in St. John 1, it is teaching you the creation story of Genesis that must apply to your life when you understand that the Bible is your spiritual autobiography that must be interpreted psychologically. So as I was speaking about the sun, I want to say to you that the Bible also states in Psalms 84:11 that the Lord thy God is a sun and a shield, and no good thing will he withhold from you. And common sense will teach you that the sun has never withheld any good thing from humanity. For the sun is what powers all of humanity and give all of humanity its energy. Then in Malachi chapter 4 and verses 2, you're told also that the sun, as in the sun, of righteousness shall arise in you, not outside of you, in you, with healing in his wings. And that is why I'm bringing healing to all of humanity. I'm pointing each and every one to look inwardly, saying to you, use your mind power, which is your solar power, your sun power, your God power, your creative power, which is actually the sexual power. Use that power to achieve your every desire and live by the wisdom of the ancients. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.